Good morning, good evening, and good night, my beautiful brats. Today's video is something that is a very beautiful treat and a delight. We are talking about Olivier Rousteing, someone who has built Balmain from the back end of the grave and turned it into a structure show. But it's not about Balmain, it is about Olivier Rousteing. We are going to understand and see why, who, what, where, and how, and even if he's building his new label. Let's get into the video. There's a quiet question circulating through fashion right now. Not the kind that gets answered in press release, not the kind that comes with announcements, timelines, or branding campaigns. The kind that comes from pattern recognition, from instinct, from silence that feels intentional. Is Olivier Rousteing preparing to build his own label? Nothing is confirmed, but fashion rarely waits for confirmation before it starts sensing a shift, or before I start sensing that shift. At the Met Gala 2026, one of the more discussed custom looks was reportedly created by Rousteing for Beyoncé, and visually didn't behave like a one-off commission, it behaved like a signature continuing its sentence. Bold structure, sculptural glamour, high theatrical precision, the kind of design language he's known for, where clothing stops being soft decoration and becomes architectural presence. It didn't feel like a moment, it felt like authorship still speaking even outside its original house. And since stepping away from Balmain, Rousteing has entered a different kind of visibility, not disappearance, but withdrawal from constant output. And in fashion, that distinction matters more than people think, because silence in this industry is very rarely absence. It's recalibration, it's private construction. It is usually the stage before something new forms. So naturally, speculation begins. If this is the beginning of Rousteing's building his own label, it wouldn't make sense that nothing is being announced yet. Because when a designer has already lived inside maximum visibility, runways, campaigns, cultural saturation, the next move is often not louder, it is quieter, more controlled, more intentional. A Rousteing-founded house would not struggle with identity, he already has that. The question is what happens when identity is no longer mediated by a historic brand structure. What does his work look like when it belongs only to him? You can already imagine the vocabulary, not subtly, but intensely refined. Not minimalism, but precision and excess. Metallics that feel emotional instead of decorative. Tailoring that behaves like armor rather than silhouette. Evening wear designed not to fit into culture, but to redirect it. Very Olivier. The real challenge wouldn't be visibility. Rousteing doesn't lack recognition. The challenge would be authorship without institutional scaffolding. No archive to lean on, no inherited mythology to translate through. Just vision, fully exposed, and that is a different kind of risk. Designers leave major houses and eventually build their own brands as a predictable progression. But Rousteing's trajectory, if this is where it leads, feels slightly different. Into autonomy after years of designing inside a system built for someone else's name. And that shift changes everything. Because now the question is not what he can design inside a brand, it's what he builds when the brand is him. Nothing here is confirmed, but fashion rarely begins with confirmation. It begins with absence, with a red carpet moment that feels too intentional to ignore. With a designer who is no longer producing on schedule, but still very clearly shaping the visual language of what comes next. And sometimes that is all you get before a new house exists. A silence, a signature, and the feeling that something is already being built quietly, deliberately out of view. Sincerely written in style, Mrs. October. Why? Because when I step into the room, it becomes colder. Just kidding. No, I'm not. AKA the princess of fashion, the face of fashion, and the one who puts the H in fashion, Haley Henderson. Love you.